Hi there guys, welcome to issue 77. We've got a sprue which we're going to add to our other two sprues we received in issue 75 and 76. There'll be a build guide for that coming out next week as we put it together and receive our last piece in issue 78. So this week all we've got to go through is the magazine itself. So what have we got? Repulsor Tank Part 3, Discover the Necrons, and a Repulsor paint guide. Okay, so in this issue, the third part of your Repulsor arrives with this issue along with a detailed paint guide to get it ready for battle. While you still have one more issue to complete your tank, you now have enough components to begin building the model using the guide from last issue. Once your Repulsor's hull has been built, you can use it as an objective in an exciting new mission in which the Ultramarines and Death Guard battle over the damaged tank. Even when they are not operational, a Repulsor is an amazing prize, and the Death Guard would love to get their vile hands on it. Okay, so what are we going to learn about today? Devastator squads. We'll learn about Centurion Devastators. We'll look at company organisation. We'll learn about the Necrons and the Necron showcase. We've got our Primaris Repulsor paint guide. And then we've got rules mission number 60, recover the Repulsor. Okay, so let's get started. Devastator squads. Devastators are heavily armed Space Marine squads who are trained to fire at their enemies from great distances with overwhelming firepower. So they carry heavy weapons such as Grav Cannon and Grav Amp, Heavy Bolter, Las Cannon, missile launchers, multi-melters and plasma cannons. As long-range support units, Devastators provide their comrades with covering fire, whilst also destroying enemy vehicles and other armoured elements. Okay, then we've got to look at their war gear. So we're looking at Grav Cannons, the Heavy Bolter, Armorium Cherub. What's that? These servitors are tasked with carrying ammunition and reloading weapons. That's mad. Cool. Ammunition he's got on his back. An awesome las cannon. And a missile launcher there. Right, Centurion Devastator squads. Clad in hulking ceramite warsuits, bristling with heavy weapons, Centurion Devastator squads command the battlefield, destroying foes in a torrent of fire. And awesome they look too. A Centurion warsuit allows a Space Marine to engage the foe with the firepower of a walking tank. Unlike their Centurion Assault Squad brothers, Devastator Centurions stand back and pound their enemies with a remorseless, relentless rain of fire. Looks smashing as well. So their war gear is Hurricane Bolters, which are mounted onto their chest. Grav Cannon and Grav Amps. Heavy Bolters again. A Centurion Missile Launcher, again on the chest. Las Cannons. Las Cannons fire beams of focused light that can punch holes through infantry and armour with ease, even at incredibly long range. And then the Omniscope. This device is carried by Centurion Devastator Sergeants. It allows the bearer to target enemies behind cover. Okay, good. And then we look at the company organisation. Most Space Marine chapters organise their troops in 10 distinct companies. This organisational structure is detailed in the Codex Astartes and is considered by Reboot Guilliman as the most efficient way to organise the Battle Brothers of an Adeptus Astartes chapter. So first veteran company, second to fifth. Quite interesting stuff here. I really need to read up on this. I don't know enough about this stuff, so I do look forward to going through all of that. Okay, now we've got the Necrons. For thousands of years, the Necrons slept, entombed deep beneath the surface of countless worlds. Now they have begun to awaken, rising to find a galaxy much changed in their absence. They intend to bring the usurper races to heel and re-establish the empire that spans the stars. Cool. So they were once a mortal race of flesh and bone, but long ago they traded their bodies for metallic replacements. The Necrons once threatened to dominate the entire galaxy, but found their dreams of conquest crushed. In response, they sealed themselves inside hidden tomb worlds, awaiting a new age. So a little bit about their war gear. Necron technology is even more difficult for Imperial tech priests to understand than that of the Eldari. Gor's weapons are the most common among the Necron forces. Unlike Imperial energy weapons, the Gor's weapon does not deliver a laser burst or bolt of force, but instead produces a molecular disassembling beam capable of reducing flesh or armour to atoms. Other examples of Necron war tech, quantum shielding, Tesla and particle weaponry, are equally complex in operation, and many tech magi of Mars have paid the ultimate price attempting to learn their secrets. Right, okay, this is interesting. When they were so ancient origins, when they were approached by a race of godlike beings known as the Catan, settlers of Catan maybe? Nope. The Necrotin race were at the very brink of defeat in their war against the mighty beings known as the Old Ones. The Catan promised the Necrontyr the means to defeat their mortal enemies. This offer was gratefully accepted. The Catan helped the Necrontyr abandon their bodies and transfer their minds into forms of living metal. They became the Necrons and were damned in the process. They had been betrayed by the Catan, who had used their transfer process to devour their souls. Together, the Catan and the Necrons destroyed the Old Ones in a war that killed billions on both sides. Basking in victory, the Catan did not see the Necrons' revenge coming until it was far too late. The Necrons channeled their energies of the universe to shatter the immortal Catan into shards and enslave them. With the Catan overthrown, the Necrons retreated to their tomb worlds to slumber until they were ready to rise again. Okay, then we've got the Necrons. I assume that looks like something from one of those tomb worlds, actually. So we've got an Overlord with Void Scythe and Resurrection Orb, and then Nemsor Zandrek. The Necron empires are ruled by noble families known as dynasties. Each of these dynasties possessed vast armies that display the ancient iconography, heraldry, runes, and colours of their leaders. I'm really drawn to the Necrons. I think it's just because of the way they look. They look amazing. I don't know if you can see like that armoured transport there, where they're all sort of loaded into it. A little bit like Star Wars Episode 1, the way the droids are sort of loaded into those vehicles. But very nice. I am a fan. Okay, so interestingly, I don't know a great deal about them. So we've got a Catan shard of the Nightbringer, the bound remnant of a star god. So I've never seen that model before. It does look really cool. I do need to read up more. Okay, very nice. Then we've got our Repulsor painting guide, which is, as you would expect at this stage and for the size of the model, is pretty extensive. So we're doing the Tech Marine Gunner that sits on top of it in red, which is very new for what we've done so far, which is cool. Okay, and so yes, so that's that. Now, mission number 60, Crash Landing. The war for Corvon 2 continues to rage on, with open battles taking place across the planet. Imperial reinforcements have arrived in force, and the air is thick with supply ships and combat aircraft bristling with missiles and other deadly weapons. Okay, so let's have a look at the mission. Recover the Repulsor. So our assembled Repulsor, and again, I will be doing an assembly guide for this. I've never assembled anything with so many parts, and I'm assuming that some of you won't have either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chart my progress in a video which I'll release next week, and it doesn't matter, even if it turns out to be a lot of crap and I totally fail at the assembly, I'll still put it out there. I I will unleash my shame on the YouTube channel. Okay, recover the Repulsor. A damaged ultramarine repulsor transport lies amidst the remains of a crashed transport craft. The Death Guard and the Ultramarines must hold off their opponents long enough to recover the vehicle and make their escape with it. So, Repulsor in the middle. Roll off and starting with the winner, take turns placing battle mats in the layout shown above. Set up the terrain in an agreed manner. The Repulsor transport serves as the objective. Place the Repulsor in the middle of the board. The Repulsor tank cannot move or fire any of its weapons during this game. So, we've got a battle-forged army with a maximum power rating of 50. Deployment is shown above, deployment zone A and B, and decided on a roll-off. Then they alternate deploying units, beginning with the player chosen to deploy first. The player who finished deploying the units last takes the first turn. Victory conditions are: eliminate an enemy unit is 1 victory point. The first player to eliminate an enemy unit is another one. Another one for eliminating the Warlord. 3 victory points for controlling the objective. To control the objective, you must have more models within 3 inches at the end of the game, and it lasts for 5 battle rounds. So that is cool. The Repulsor is quite a big piece as well, so it will be, you know, be a bit of cat and mouse at the end of these games to see who gets most models in. Yeah, Death Guard line up a load of terrain here and just have a load of Poxwalkers ready to swamp on that at the end. Okay, cool. So, we now sort of reveal the last of what we're going to receive. So next week, we get the last parts of the Repulsor, which is basically the base for it to sit on, and I think there's one more piece that goes with it. So that is issue 78. Issue 79 is the first part of this walkway. So issue 79 and 80 will build all of this terrain here. And it's a really, really cool piece of terrain as well. And then that's it for Conquest. That's not it for Conquest. I will come back with more content, and I'll go through on issue 80. I'll go through some more ideas for what we can do with this content. So some battle reports and that kind of thing. We've come too far to leave it at that. So there will be more Conquest after issue 80 from this channel for as long as you guys want it. So there you go, guys. That's issue 77. I think it's a good issue. We are sort of waiting to build the Repulsor, but we've got, you know, I'm glad the Necrons are in it. I do like the Necrons. I do need to read up more about the company organisation in general for Warhammer 40k, but a solid issue. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week with our Repulsor. See you guys.